Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining from. Thank you for being here. I'm on the road again, traveling. This time I'm in London, so we'll see what kind of trouble we can get up to here today. So it is 6 p.m. local time, not my usual Sunday morning, but it is the same time in Pacific time. So it should be the same time for everybody else too. Not into the daylight savings chaos yet. So welcome, welcome. I'm sure you're curious what I'm using to stream today. I will be sure to talk about that because I am doing something that I have never done before. See if you can guess what it is. I'm curious if anybody has any ideas, but let's see who we have in the chat. Oh, you're up. Oh, I thought this was in Australia. You're from Austria. Fantastic. Thank you for joining. Peter, hello from the UK. I'm also in the UK. We're neighbors right now. Got my first ATEM this week, so I'll be interested in what I can do with it. Very exciting. Glad to see. I'm also curious what you'll be able to do with it. Another local Peter from Scotland. Sven says, good evening from a high-speed train somewhere in Germany. That's fun. Hope you have good Wi-Fi on the train. Oh, another watching live from the UK. And great. Dominic said it says streaming with a phone. Kind of. This camera is my iPhone. But it's not just my iPhone. Peter says, did you finish emptying your boxes or have you left Lily to finish them? I finished emptying most of the boxes in the living room, except for a couple that I stacked on top of the bookshelf that I'm going to deal with later. And a lot of the boxes went downstairs into my studio, which is now a giant mess that I have to deal with when I get back. Not really looking forward to that. It's really hard to walk around in there right now, but that will be a project for when I return. Where am I staying in London? What part of the city? I am right next to the, between London Bridge and the Tower Bridge. So pretty central right now. Michael says we did an outdoor service today and had to go to plan B because my Insta360 link didn't work. Oh, interesting. That's too bad. What a bummer. Oh, getting some more guesses here. Phone connected to YoloBox? Nope. It's a YoloBox Mini plugged into an ATEM Mini Pro plugged into a phone for internet. That sounds like way too much gear that I don't want to bring with me right now. So, okay, I think no one's ever going to guess. So let's take a look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch cameras so that I can use my iPhone as a camera to show you what I'm looking at. So we're going to switch over to this. Oh, and I forgot to click the hide map button. There we go. Guess what camera this is? This one might be more obvious. But now I can grab my iPhone. Wireless. So it was a wireless camera. And now I'll show you what I was looking at. Surprise, I'm streaming with OBS. I've never done that before. I have all my scenes set up in OBS. I'm using this mirror as a tripod for my phone because I forgot to bring my phone tripod, my actual 1/4-20 mount. I've got all the scenes set up in OBS. My DJI mic is plugged into the USB port. My phone is shared wirelessly using the Apple thing. What do they call it? I forget what it's called now, where you can use your phone as a wireless camera as a webcam into your computer for Zoom or whatever. So OBS is just seeing this as a webcam. And I have no effects on right now, but I want to show you what some of these do because they're actually kind of cool. So as far as OBS is concerned, it's just a webcam. It just happens to be my phone wirelessly. And then I've got the chat over here on my iPad just so I can see the comments and stuff. Wi-Fi holds up at the moment. Yeah, so far so good. I'm at the Hilton and they have pretty good Wi-Fi here. So I did a little speed test and I was like, oh, that's totally fine. Because I'm in OBS, I have my normal chat, which I usually use in OBS. It's just as one of the layers here. So that's how the map was working because that's how I normally do it. It's normally in OBS, going out of OBS into my ATEM. And now it's just all inside OBS. So, oh no, Sven, you wrote it and it cut out. I don't see any drop frames here, so hopefully it's not on my end. Eric says, this has to be the least amount of gear you carried for a remote stream. You are correct, because I always bring my laptop and my iPad and my phone anyway. So the only thing extra really is the mic. And you know, I did a test with the built-in mic, and it's not terrible. Let me switch over to that actually. So let me go back to the phone camera, and then I'm going to switch over to the laptop's microphone in 3. This is the laptop microphone. It definitely has a different quality to it, but I don't think it's terrible because I'm sitting right in front of my computer and they really made some good changes to the Apple microphone situation. So maybe this is good enough. I'm curious. I'll leave like this for a little bit to see if people think this is good enough. Now we have to place bets on when OBS will have issues. Yeah. 2, how long OBS will have issues. But with any luck, no issues. Correct. I'm really curious to see how it holds up. Peter says, genuinely impressed. I suppose this shows how simple you can keep it. Yeah, well, it does help that my normal graphics and comment situation is already a web source that I do in OBS. Oh, Sven says the train Wi-Fi. Aha, yes. Okay, good. Well, glad that is not my Wi-Fi. IT Never Gets Old says, how are you interfacing the mic to the MacBook? So with the DJI mic, it's just plugged in with the USB. So since I'm not using it, I can unplug it. It shouldn't break anything. Yeah, OBS still thinks it's connected, or it knows about the source, so it's gonna just not show me anything. So this is the mic, and it comes with these little adapters you can swap out on the back. So there's one that is like just a cold shoe. My phone can't focus that close. the normal one that I use is the cold shoe, which you clip onto a camera, but it also comes with a Lightning or USB-C. So I just stuck the USB-C into my laptop and it shows up like a USB microphone. The only downside is that it blocks the other USB port, so I can't charge my laptop when this is plugged in. So everything is running on batteries right now. So who knows how long it'll last. Let's see if it picks it up back up. It does, okay. How are we doing on the audio here? Built-in mic is more than adequate. More treble, okay. Sounds great. Cool. Louder, deeper, but there's something slightly annoying about it. I'm guessing that it's just roomier. Everything's like soft surface in here, so there's no like echoes, but it probably sounds roomier. I'll switch back because I have the DJI mic, so I might as well use it. Okay, back on the DJI now. Is it the built-in mic of the iPhone or the MacBook? Oh, it's the MacBook microphone. For some reason, it looks like the audio from the phone is not coming through in OBS. I don't know whether that's an OBS problem or an iPhone problem or just, I don't know. But yeah, that was the laptop mic. Any AV sync issues? Did you have to compensate in OBS? No, not at all. So here, check this out. Yeah, you're hearing the audio from the DJI, but you're watching the video from the phone, and it looks in sync, right? Like, I'm not even seeing a delay on the screen. But here, I made a scene actually for side by side to compare the iPhone with the webcam. So here, let's go. You lost audio because I didn't have the DJI in this scene. Let me try that again. So this is the side by. I just didn't add my DJI mic in this scene for some reason. Let me add that. Almost had it all. Okay, there we go. Double audio. There we go. Back to the DJI. Yeah, sorry about that. Audio dropped. And this is me getting used. Oh, there's no chat in the scene either. This is me getting used to OBS where you have to do everything like 5 times, I swear. Anyway, this is the side-by-side. So this is the iPhone camera and this is the webcam. And I think the iPhone camera is a lot better and you can really see it in this scene. But it's perfectly in sync. Somehow. Don't know how they do that. It's magic as far as I can tell. But it's really good. Go back frame by frame and see if there's like even just a 1 frame out of sync there. Wild. Super wild. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, on the double audio, you can hear it's about 1 frame different. Okay, that's great. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah, sorry. Didn't have the audio on that scene. Oh, MT says the DJI sounds muffled and the MacBook sounds better. Interesting. I wonder if it is a personal preference or if it's objectively better or worse. I'm really curious. Robert says, which MacBook Pros have the better mic array? It seems to have been everything from, I think it was the one right before the M1 is when I started noticing the audio got a lot better. So it's interesting. Yeah, they did a lot of work on that, clearly. Magically in sync. Yeah, it is. It really is. Oh, okay. So other fun tricks with the phone. Let me go to, let's see, I have this is going to do a tunnel effect because I'm going to show you my computer screen because I can do the whole scene is frozen. Screen capture died. Apple fairy dust. Trusted Tackle Tip says, I agree with MT. DJI sounds muffled also. Okay, everyone says DJI sounds muffled. Interesting. So let's switch back to the MacBook mic then. That's wild. I'm sure it would not be as good in. Okay, let's switch over. That should do it. So back on the MacBook, I'm sure this would not be as good if I was not in a quiet room, but at least for now, we'll do the MacBook. Without comparison, both sound good. They're different tonally, and the MacBook picks up more room reverb. I wouldn't say either is better. Yeah, okay. Yep. Uh, yes, the joys of software-based streaming. So first glitch is a screen capture died. Lovely. Um, what I was going to say was I wanted to show the little effects in the wireless camera situation. So here, let's go this little thing. So these video effects, you can use center stage or portrait or studio light and also desk view with the phone camera. So I'm going to switch over to that and go through these to show you what these look like. Put the phone back on the mirror stand. Okay, so, boop, that's too low. Back to the phone. So this is just the plain no effects. I'm going to first turn on center stage. So it's going to crop in a little bit because now it's going to track me around. So if I go over here, it's going to kind of slowly pan to keep me roughly in the center. And it's nice and subtle. So if I go down, it'll do it also. If I go up, it's subtle, but it's, yeah, kind of neat. I guess it works. I don't know. I don't know what that was about. Oh, it actually centered me there. So it just kind of does its own thing. We can also turn on portrait mode and look at that blurry background. This is obviously the same like imperfections in faking the lens blur that you get with portrait mode photos. Like the edge just is not sharp anymore. And if I put my finger out there, it'll kind of mess up. And I'm sure it's messed up around my hair too. It's decent, but it's definitely not perfect. And then this is with center stage also, but you can apply just one or the other, of course. So if I turn off center stage, it'll go back to the full view, and now portrait mode is on. I think this actually makes portrait mode look a little bit better. But this other one is wild. This is the studio light. Ready? Look at that. The lighting was already like okay on me because I'm sitting facing a window, so I got good light coming that way. But this really just makes it pop. Let's turn off portrait, and this is just studio light. So this is studio light, no portrait mode. That's with studio light off. I think it actually does a really good job. You can't really even tell that there's little artifacts either. It just looks like better lighting. I am curious. I think I'm seeing the frame rate go down. So that is something to think about. It looks a little bit more choppy to me, and I'm curious if you're noticing that too. But that's, I guess, to be expected with a wireless camera and doing all this processing. It does look fantastic though. The blurring is compromising objects in the background. I mean, that's what it's supposed to do, right? It's supposed to make the background less obvious. So, okay, let's turn that back off, and this is now normal. So I think the frame rate issues go away. Yeah, this looks a lot smoother now. Okay, so one other trick is desk view. And you can actually set this up in OBS to treat it as a separate camera. So if I have my iPad down on the table here, like I'm drawing or something, throwing the pencil around, I can switch in OBS, I can switch between two different scenes. So this is my iPhone scene. This is my iPhone desk scene. And this is, like, my phone hasn't moved. I can just go between these two. Oops, that's the phone, that's the desk. That's the phone, that's the desk. And I'm just switching between scenes in OBS. It's wild. Obviously, this is, like, definitely distorted and not as crisp as you would get with a real top-down camera, but It's surprisingly good. It can certainly get the point across. Like, let's see what, like, do I have a, do I have a diagram I can, what was this? I don't remember what this was for. It was from another stream where we were talking about stuff, right? Like, you can read that if I'm going in here and drawing. It certainly looks like I have a top-down camera, even if it's a little bit distorted. It's wild, and I like. It's cool that you can do it. You can switch it in OBS as well, so you can treat it like you have just two cameras. Ooh, I think the audio went out of sync when the effects were applied. That makes sense. Let's do a quick test of that to be sure. Let's do first portrait. So here's portrait mode. Is this out of sync now? I guess we can do side by side. Oh, geez. I need to get rid of that one. Here's side by side. So interesting. Did it apply portrait mode to the webcam too? It looks like it's doing it to both. Oh, funny. It doesn't know how to do it to only one. It only does it to both at the same time. That's interesting because there is a separate checkbox for portrait mode with the FaceTime camera, but it's applying the effect to both cameras. So not really a good test then because they both have the effect applied. Here's studio light on the iPhone and the webcam did not change. They look in sync, at least with each other still. Interesting. What are you doing? Says I was going to say you look processed. Ah. The overhead is a geometric transform from the built-in webcam. No, it's actually using the phone for the desk view. I thought I remember seeing that the FaceTime camera on the laptop can also do desk view, but I don't have that option in the video effects on my laptop. So if you're looking at the video effects, I just don't like to move the phone while it's on the air because that makes everybody sick. So if you look at the options that I get here, the phone camera does get the desk view option, but the FaceTime camera does not. So maybe it's only in the new laptop. I don't remember if this is the M2 Air. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the desk view is coming from the phone, and it was just sitting in that same spot up on that mirror that I'm using as a stand because I forgot my actual phone stand. How much CPU is being utilized on the MacBook? I am using the M2 Air, and it says 10% CPU, 30 frames per second, no dropped frames. But I'm not recording on this, so I'm just streaming. If I start recording, I wonder if it will do worse. Now I'm using negative CPU. That's interesting. There it goes. Okay. Still 10% CPU. I guess recording is not super bandwidth intensive. If I do the side by side, then it's still using 10% CPU. So looks like that's about where I am. Not bad. Yeah. So this is what I was doing to switch between the desk and phone, where the iPhone is a scene and the desk is a scene. I can't really show you that because it'll change the scene. Oh, maybe I can do it in studio mode. If I do this, can I click it without? Yeah, okay. So in the phone scene, I have the iPhone, which is a phone camera here. Got to center my camera. There it is. And then if I go to the desk view, now how do I show that to you? Well, that's not working. There we go. The desk camera is actually showing up as a different device in OBS. So it's actually like phone camera, desk view camera. They look like different webcams to the software. which is kind of cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Back to that, and now I can transition. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do webcam. There we go. Ah. Let's get that back to where it goes. Oh, this is better. I should have had this in preview the whole time because now I can actually frame my shot properly. 10% CPU, MacBook Air with M2. It sounds like my next switcher. I mean, I remember I don't have any other cameras plugged in. So there's no capture card. There's no, nothing else. So this is a relatively simple setup, but it is working. It is working. Oh, good point. Not an issue, so don't change anything. The MacBook audio picks up all the touchpad clicks. I think the DJI microphone does not at all because it actually rejects a lot of noise. I like even to the point when I'm biking, you can barely hear the surrounding noise. David says recording uses the same encoder as a stream. It will not use extra CPU unless you set it to encode differently. That makes sense. Yeah. Fun experiments in fun experiments in OBS. Am I streaming in 720 to save bandwidth or CPU? Am I streaming in 720? I thought I was streaming in 1080. Did I mess it up? That would be embarrassing. Software video encoder. Where's the... Now I don't even see the setting for that. I don't even know how to change the resolution in OBS. That's interesting. Oh, there it is. Oh, shoot, it is 720. I did not mean to do that. It is, the canvas resolution is 1080, so all of my dimensions when I was setting up the scenes, I was seeing 1080 numbers, and then it says output resolution is 720. That's sad. What a bummer. You are 720 from what I can see. That's such a bummer. I thought I was doing 1080 this whole time. Oh well, can't really change that now. I don't think I can change it midstream. I've never tried it. Maybe we could try it. Could be fun. Are you using Shoot on the iPhone or is it the Apple Camera app? It's neither. It's the Mac. It's the new iOS like camera sharing thing. So like OBS just sees it like a webcam, and then it's just a wireless link. And if you look at the phone, what it does is here I'll show you the phone. The phone goes into this special mode where it says connected to the Mac, and I can pause or disconnect it from the phone, but the phone is not usable as a phone. It's just a camera now. It's just a wireless camera. It's not an app. It's just built in. It's cool. Not too bad. I've got a video taking up 80% of a 4K monitor. 720 may be minimum viable stream, but it looks great on my 30-inch TV right now. Don't worry, it works. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah. In OBS, are you using X264 or the Apple H264 encoder? I think I didn't change anything from what was default, so let's find out. It is, it would be nice to get my screen capture working again. Let's see if I can fix that. Mac screen capture. Do I just have to delete it and restart it? That's annoying. Let's see if I change the settings. There we go. Okay. Now it's showing. Now it's working again. So here we can go and look at OBS. Oh, wait. No, it is working. Okay. It looked like it was frozen for a second. So if I go to settings, then where is it? Output, software, X264 encoder. So not the Apple H264. I wonder if it would... Yeah, if you didn't change it, then the default is probably X264. Now I can't get back to change the scene without closing settings. iPhone camera appears as if it's live streaming 4K. Wow, okay. I do wonder if... I do wonder if I can change a YouTube stream resolution midstream. I don't think I've done that. I know I've changed bit rates before and changed encoders. 720 looks really good. I don't think 1080p makes a big difference. I mean, honestly, for like a picture of a person, it probably doesn't make a big difference, but the text and the map and stuff, I'm sure look a lot crisper in 1080. But if you switch it to Apple, you will use almost no CPU at all. Should we try it? Why not? I have to stop streaming, but we can do that. Let's do that really quick. Let's change it. I'm going to show you my computer screen again. And let's do it. So let's go. I'm going to have to click stop, and I'm going to change it really quick. I'm going to go into here and output and change that. I just can't do it while streaming. So it will pause for a few seconds, then it should pick it up again. Here we go. Okay, now we're back. We're back in Apple H264. So I'll let this pick up again and see how it does. Let's see now that you mention it, I do notice the text. Yeah, the crisp lines and stuff, of course, it'll be less sharp. How is the stream doing? Buffering, it will come back, and it did come back. Excellent. Okay, now we're encoding from the Apple encoder, and sure enough, I've dropped down to 5% CPU, down from 10 before. So that was cool. That's great. Now try to hot swap the resolution. Sure, why not? We'll try to break things as much as we can during these streams. I'm going to try to look at the stream health, because this is where YouTube complains about like your bitrate is too low or your bitrate is too high, things like that. So we'll keep an eye on this. So let's stop streaming and change resolution and then start again. Ready? Here we go. Okay, we're back. This time we're at 1080. CPU is still at 6%. And let's take a look at, okay, we got the no data and stream is healthy. And stream is healthy. Oh, don't need audio. I guess it's working. That's wild. Cool. Resolution change, why not? ProCopy says, I'm seeing dropped frames now. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's not on my end because everything's still fine over here. It's back and 1080. It's working. 1080 is now in the options. Wild. That's cool. Well, good to know that if you do start a stream in the wrong resolution with your encoder, you can fix it. And now we know. There is 1080 now. So now I'm curious, what happens if you scroll back? Is it upscaling the video, or can you not scroll back when you're playing back 1080? Because now the whole first part of the stream was recorded only in 720. And now if it's got 1080 after that, what happens to the old video? Someone can play back and find out. Wild. David said I don't see any dropped frames. Good. Okay. Yeah, maybe it was just on the viewer end. Fun experiments in streaming. What else can we do to break things? Folks, Aaron just did the thing everyone is afraid of and won't do an OBS during a live event. Oh, and it auto switched to 1080. YouTube doesn't usually go up. Maybe it's because you were previously set to 1080, so it was like, wasn't like you had chosen. Can't scroll back now. Okay. YouTube used to not allow resolution bitrate changes. Now they do with variable bitrate resolution. Huh. Well, now we know. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'm also seeing that I can't scroll back past the resolution change. So good to know. I'm assuming it will be in the recording. If not, that'd be very sad. I'm assuming that after this is done, because they always do like a post-processing step, which is once you stop the stream, like the chat goes away immediately. Even if you have chat replay on, it'll go away for a little bit. And that's when like people complain why'd you disable the chat replay? And I'm like, I didn't. It's just YouTube's processing the video, and it takes a little bit of time. They process the whole thing, and then it comes back again. So hopefully the whole video comes back after that. Oh yes, IT Never Gets Old says, obviously that would break if you had auto start and auto stop turned on. So, okay, this is why I don't recommend auto stop ever. It's unless you're just using the stream now page and not scheduled streams where the whole point is just like go live when you go live. But this is one of the reasons that I don't recommend auto stop. Although I will say if you do it fast enough, like it takes several seconds for it to actually cut the stream out. So if you do it fast enough, it may recover it, but this is the problem is that like if your internet goes out and you have auto stop, then it might just completely end your stream and then you're really screwed. So ProCopy says, I was able to scroll back if I refresh the window. Whoa, okay. Yeah, after the stream is done, after a few hours post-processing, it will become available. That's my guess too. Graham says, I've got a second window open and I can see the first half of the stream complete with 1080p in the options. Wild. Okay, so it must just be upscaling it already. And Sven has an update from the train going 295 kilometers an hour and mobile data is stable. Great. Now switch to vertical. That might break it. Yeah. I don't know what that would do. Graham says from a while ago, I missed this one. I just realized that Aaron is missing from his own map. That's a good point. I should have put my own dot on the map. Oops. Nick says, in next week's show, Aaron juggles with chainsaws. David says, I don't understand when streamers don't use scheduled streams. Some hiccup occurs with the stream now. Sometimes you can end with two separate streams instead of one continuous. I know. The stream now thing is like very specific use case, which is that like for whatever reason you can't schedule ahead of time and you just want to go live as soon as you start pushing data from the encoder. I used it once for, it was one of the bike ride streams, I think, but most of the time, like it's always a good idea to use the scheduled stream for a bunch of reasons. You get better control over the thumbnail, the description, all the detailed settings, like whether you want chat replay turned on, chat, limiting chat to subscribers, all that kind of stuff. Jewel says, if this works well with two cameras, list some reasons you would use the YoloBox at all if OBS is so powerful and easy to take on a trip. Well, okay. I mean, this is a great small setup because I didn't have to bring any extra gear for this. And I do get two cameras. One is my webcam, which is this one, and the other is my now wireless camera. So if I'm okay with the picture quality of my webcam, which it's not bad, it's just not as good as the iPhone. But if I'm okay with this, then I can use this one as a permanent second angle. So I could do like show you the desk. I could have this showing you the view outside the window. Nice clear blue skies right now, right? Like it's very cool to have a second camera and the built-in webcam. It does a pretty good job. Why would I ever go back to carrying a bunch of gear with me? Let me put this down so I can go back to this camera. That's a good question. So why would I take a YoloBox? I think what I'm doing with this is I'm using effectively two webcams in OBS. One is the built-in and one is the webcam that's the wireless, Apple wireless link to the iPhone. I'm also now using the built-in laptop mic instead of the DJI microphone. This only works in this particular scenario, like I'm streaming myself. Obviously, the laptop webcam is not going to be useful if I wanted to stream video of something else happening because it's always pointed at me. The iPhone will work wirelessly. I don't know if I can connect two iPhone cameras wirelessly. I assume so. Not sure bandwidth requirements for that, for example. But as soon as I would have like as soon as it's not just me sitting in front of the computer, then this setup doesn't really work very well. I can get a wide shot of something out there, but like I don't see a way to switch the iPhone to stream the telephoto lens, for example. So I can't use the telephoto. So if I needed to zoom in on something, I'm better off with the real camera. The iPhone camera is good, but still a mirrorless camera is better, and especially for this. So if I wanted better quality, that's one reason. I also am still nervous about OBS. So far, it hasn't crashed. It has only done that weird screen capture freeze thing for me once. Don't know why. Uh, but it is doing pretty well. If I needed to capture other things, like if I was streaming a conference, I'm going to need to get the presenter slides into the computer somehow, into the stream somehow. And now that doesn't work great in this kind of setup because now I need some extra hardware. It might be a capture card with it could be like actually a wireless transmitter that's also the capture card. So I could get their slides from the podium, send it to the projector and my computer. Um, the but that doesn't really work great. So I would rather do that with the YoloBox than my computer. Um, there's I feel like once you just start getting to any use cases beyond just the very simple thing I'm doing now, it's not that great of an option. Sergio says, I've seen streamers before use clunky streaming backpacks and this iPhone setup looks way better. Again, I'm kind of in very ideal conditions, right? I've got stable hotel Wi-Fi, which is like giving me almost 100 megs up and down. And I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi with my phone and my laptop, and that's how this video feed is working. Um, the So if I was outside, again, this would not work great. Actually, that's another reason I would use the YoloBox. If I was outside, this whole setup falls apart because I need to be on Wi-Fi for this to work. So I could bring my own Wi-Fi hotspot, and now all of a sudden, I might as well bring the YoloBox because as soon as I'm bringing a Wi-Fi hotspot and doing that setup, I'm just adding work when the YoloBox has it all built in already. Because I can stick a SIM card into the YoloBox or tether it to my phone and have it get internet that way. The MacBook cam isn't that sharp compared to the iPhone camera. I agree. Yeah, the MacBook is definitely soft. For constant use of the webcam, I would suggest propping the MacBook up so the camera is at a better angle. You know, it's so awkward. This is another reason not to do this because I actually did. So this screen is already tilted towards me and in a way that is uncomfortable to use because I would rather use my computer like this. And this is a terrible camera angle. So, and I don't get the, I get portrait mode, but I don't get center stage mode with the laptop camera. So like, really I should have the screen like this. And now it's just awkward to use my computer. And yes, ideally the camera, the whole computer should be raised up more like that, which is again, not a great way to use my computer. So this is just a temporary thing, but this iPhone's at a slightly better angle. Although I honestly think it should be dropped like 2 inches. I just don't have tripods. Yeah, 100 on Wi-Fi is definitely not something you would get on a random location. Oh, and the YoloBox has magic network abilities. It's true. Its VPN bonding thing is magic. Doesn't the iPad have a camera? Would it work like the iPhone? You know, it should. I wonder if my iPad is not on the latest OS. I thought it was. 16.5. No, it must be in the hardware. It must be something in the hardware. It's because my iPad's on the network and everything. It's not showing up as one of the options. So it must be because it is not the right kind of iPad. I forget the list of supported hardware for that, whatever that feature is called, why am I forgetting the name? It's not center stage. That's like the auto zoom thingy. Oh, this is a great point. Many of the DVE style effects in OBS will chew additional CPU and instability does ensue. Yeah, so one example is the side-by-side view. So this is definitely going to use more CPU just doing two cameras side by side. Although actually it's not that bad. It only is up to 6% now instead of 5. I guess because of that encoder. But if I was using a capture card, that would be a whole different story because the capture card would use more as well. Continuity camera, that's the one. Thank you. Oh, audio was better when you picked it up. Might be your voice bouncing off the desk. Oh, interesting. Yeah, it could be. Michael said, I've never seen my iPads pop up as cameras like I have with my iPhone. So, oh, including the newest iPad Air. Okay, maybe it's just not a feature in the iPads. It makes sense. I don't know. It'd be weird, I guess. Which iPhone do I have? I don't see the desk view option in the video effects. I have the iPhone. There are too many iPhones. It's not the newest one. It's the one before that. I think it's the 12. iPhone. I can't show you either because the screen is completely taken over by this continuity camera. That's the word for it. You could also bring in a remote contributor. Yeah, I mean, video.ninja is made for OBS, so this would be a great way to bring in a remote guest. I should have scheduled somebody to come in live today. That would have been kind of fun. Nick says, I'm interested to understand how much battery drain the iPhone is using and if it will manage without a power supply. Good question. Okay, so right now my phone is not plugged into power. It is just, it is on its own, sitting up there, not plugged in. One thing I did notice is that you actually get, you do actually get a little battery meter on your computer. So if you look at the little menu for it, when you go here, it'll actually tell you the phone's battery level, which is super handy because I can't see the phone otherwise because the screen is facing the other way. And I started this at about, I think it was 82%. So I've already gone down 24% in 45 minutes. So the other thing is if I plug in my phone to a battery, watch this. I'm going to keep that on the screen, and I'm going to plug lightning cable into my phone. Watch this. It's got the little power symbol. Oh, now it's not doing it. Interesting. Oh, I think I know what was happening. So it was at 80% before, and it said charging was paused. And I assumed it was charging was paused because because it was using it as a camera, but I think charging was paused because it was at 80%. So we'll see if I can keep it charging now. We'll keep an eye on it. Mine also only has one lens. Okay, it could be. Honestly, I don't remember which iPhones have this feature. Apple continuity camera. Let's see if there's a list. Here we go. There is a list. So I can go to this scene. Continuity camera, iPhone, iOS 16, iPhone XR, iPhone 11 needs center stage, iPhone 11 excluding the SE for desk view. So if you have the SE, you don't get desk view. iPhone 12 or later for studio light. I think mine's 12. And then any Mac with Mac OS Ventura or later. Sign in the same Apple ID. You have to turn it on, near each other with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, not sharing mobile data connection. That's good to know. To use it wirelessly, you must not be using AirPlay or Sidecar. Oh, and it works over USB also. That's right. Okay. Lots of key click sounds because I was typing. Sorry. Yeah, that's the downside of the Mac microphone too. Is the typing sounds. Let's switch back to the DJI. At least it's easy to switch. So now we're back on the wireless mic, so you probably can't hear my clicking as much. For the few of you that may not know, a battery bank in a power outage will last longer keeping your phone at full instead of charging it up multiple times. Well, that's a good tip, yeah. I remember reading something about how the magic number is 20% and 80%, where like the first 20% takes more to charge than the next 60%, and the last 20% takes more effort to get it to 100 than it does before that. So if you're charging off a battery, you want to avoid charging your phone past 80 because it'll take more of the battery power to get it up to 100. But if you let your phone stay at 80 and then drop it down to 60 and then charge it up again, that'll be like the most efficient way of using your external battery. I don't remember. It has something to do with physics. Yeah, there are too many iPhones. It's true. IT never gets old. I missed this earlier. In some cases with volunteers, they forget to stop the stream, so I've used auto stop in those cases. Okay, interesting counter argument for using the auto stop. Yeah, if you have volunteers running it who may not know they have to go back into the studio, or for some reason you can't use YouTube Studio, like if you're on a phone, I don't know why I can't just get the YouTube live stream to work on a phone. Like you can get it into desktop mode on a phone, and it's so hard to use because you have these little tiny buttons, and sometimes things don't work right. But I wish they would just add like a couple of features into the mobile app for YouTube Studio so I could do live streams from the phone. I don't understand why they haven't thought this through. You can't even get to scheduled videos in the YouTube Studio app. So if you want to like edit the description of a video, you have to go to a computer. It's incredibly frustrating. The audio is muddy now. People like the laptop mic better, huh? This is the DJI mic on my shirt collar. What happens if I have it out front? Let's try holding it like a microphone. David says I like the 15 to 85% range. Yeah, I think the key is just not letting it down to 0 and not trying to go above that 80 or 85. Alex says, what are you in London for? Good question. Oh, IT Never Gets Old also asked that. I'm not teaching this time. I'm not doing a workshop. I'm at a conference. So the conference starts tomorrow. It's out at the Royal Holloway of London, and it is called the Oauth Security Workshop, and it's a bunch of Oauth nerds getting together to talk about the very nitty-gritty details about Oauth and OpenID Connect. It's a lot of fun. All sorts of interesting stuff happening in that world, but this is like where the super nerds get together. It's instead of like just talking about the basics of stuff, we go into fascinating detail about all sorts of things. This unfortunately is not live streamed or recorded, so some people publish their slides afterwards, so you can at least see what was talked about. The schedule is public, and the event's public, like you can attend, but it's not streamed or recorded. So, yeah. Oh, much better with the DJI microphone in front of me. Okay. So much better. I think the mic was pressed against your shirt. I mean, yeah, it was like down here. It'll sound different because it's got less of the direct sound from my face. How will it sound if you lay the DJI next to the phone? Oh, that's a good question because that'd be a lot more useful. If I can just set it here. Let's try that. Now I'm speaking straight at it, but it's farther away. Tech conference with jet lag sounds like fun. I mean, I've got my jet lag system down pretty well. I implemented step 0 of it this morning. Basically, the plan is, I guess this would have been step 1. My strategy is I try to find a flight that doesn't land early in the morning. So find something that lands after noon or later. Oh, too far, very low. Okay. This one, it really wants to be just right here. We'll try that again. So the sounds like you're across the room. Okay. This is it's very picky. The jet lag. So my plan is I find a flight that doesn't land too early because then it's hard to stay awake. So this flight was actually direct from Portland, so it was 7 p.m. Portland to about noon in London. And then at noon, so I try to sleep on the plane as much as I can. Basically, have dinner relatively early on the plane. Try to sleep most of the way there, and then wake up right before landing. So yeah, maybe I got like 3 hours of actual sleep, not much. But land at noon. Try to stay awake the rest of the day. Try to stay on local time. So go outside, go for a walk. Try to eat on local time, and then just try to stay up as late as possible because going that direction, that's the hard one because it's like getting into 3 a.m. territory. And I managed to stay up till like 11 last night, and I just passed out because I was so tired from being awake so long. And then I woke up at normal time, like 7. And again, first thing I did was ate breakfast and then went outside for a couple hours. So walked around, I got on a boat, took in a lot of sunlight, walked like a mile over to get coffee, walked another mile in the sun, got back on a boat, came over here to the hotel. Then I did a bunch of work. Started by working outside, so I was getting more sunlight, and then set up for the stream. So my plan tonight is, again, just try to stay up till normal time. I didn't get tired this afternoon, so that's good. I'll try to make sure I force myself to go to sleep at 11. If I stay up too late, that's going to throw off the plan. And do it again tomorrow. So basically just adjust to local time as fast as possible and do local time things like eat and go for walks in sunlight. That's the trick. Thank you, Frankie, for the reminder. Reminder to click the like button. Is there an option to use the phone mic? I don't see that option. So in OBS, there is a microphone source, and it is oh wait, now it's here. Why is it not in the audio mixer list? It wasn't there earlier. Let me show you what I'm looking at. Okay, to this one. Why is the DJI not in this list? What the heck? Now OBS is playing tricks on me. Why is DJI not showing up in this list when I'm on? Oh, because it's not in that scene. I swear I added this already. Add DJI. No, now I'm confused. I don't understand what's going on. Why is it not here? It's there. I'm on this scene. It's there. Why is it not in this list? If I go to advanced properties, iPhone Square shows up. Mic aux shows up. So why is this not in the list? Audio Mixer only shows what's in your program, not preview. Do I have to? Aha. Thank you, Michael. Now it's showing up because I clicked transition and now it's there. So now you're getting double audio. Great. I don't like that. I disagree with that rule. Audio Mixer only shows what's in program. Okay. So It's confusing, but that's how it works. Okay. Also, my chat is not here. Let's bring the chat in. And there we go. So, okay, you have to uncheck view inactive sources in the advanced mixer if you want to adjust in preview. Uncheck active sources only. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, well, that didn't really help. My other problem is that the iPhone microphone here, it looks like my iPhone should be having a microphone available to OBS, but it's not showing up. So I'm not sure what's up with that. But David has an interesting point. It's the mic setting at the Mac level. So if I go up to here, mic mode, not that, this one. Input. Aha, I can choose the phone. Let's try that. So that means, I think that means this mic, which is a system mic, should now be my phone. Let's try it. I think this is the phone microphone now. To double check it, let's switch over to the MacBook microphone really quick. So how does this sound as far as the phone mic compared to the MacBook Air microphone, where you're going to hear more clicky clicky? So that's okay. I don't know if it's too far away for it to work well, but I guess we'll find out soon when the stream catches up. It doesn't change in the audio mixer, but you can still adjust in the advanced mixer, not intuitive. I guess you just have to learn how it works. It's roomier. Definitely changed. Sounds like something changed. So this is roomier than the laptop microphone even? iPhone seems way more processed. Okay, interesting. I did not bring headphones to try this, to listen to myself. So I guess I could listen to with AirPods, but that wouldn't be great. Let's change it back to the Mac. And I still don't understand why I can't choose the iPhone here, because it's showing up under advanced. So, oh well. And it says active too. Fascinating. Laptop mic sounds better. Okay. Yeah. The iPhone mic sounds distant. It makes sense because it is, in fact, farther away. Well, cool. Thanks for the tests. That was fun. The combination of general purpose computer settings plus the OBS settings make troubleshooting so much more complex than dedicated devices. I don't know. I think they both have their quirks for sure. How's my battery doing? It is charging up to 69% now. That's good. I must be weird. iPhone sounded better to me. I mean, it also depends on what you're listening to it on. Like if you're in front of TV, the TV might be doing its own processing. If you're in headphones, it'll sound totally different. So, yeah. Alexander, good question. Can all mirrorless cameras be used with a switcher like the ATEM Mini? Looking at the Panasonic Lumix ZS10 in specific, because I need a camera less than 200. That's less than 200? Let me look that one up. Generally, I would say no, not all can, because what you need to make sure that it has HDMI, clean HDMI out. So that's a feature you want to look for. Many cameras do, maybe even most cameras do, but definitely not all of them. Some of them will be limited to 720p on the HDMI out. Some might always include the camera like interface elements on the HDMI out. Some may have HDMI out, but not when you're recording, things like that. So that's what you would look for. But let's see, DMC ZS10 was the camera. Oh, that's like a tiny baby camera. I'm guessing probably not. So let's see. Let's go back to my computer. This is the other downside of using OBS without a Stream Deck, is I can't click the transition button, and I have to show you my multi-view before I switch over to the browser. This little thing. Does it have HDMI out? That'd be cool. It looks like there's an HDMI port. I'm guessing it does not do clean HDMI. Probably what this does is for playing back videos. It doesn't even mention it in this article. That's my guess, is it's for playing back stuff on the camera. A lot of the tiny cameras like that use it for just playing back stuff from the camera. So I also wouldn't call that a mirrorless camera. I would call that a point and shoot camera. So point and shoot cameras tend to not do clean HDMI out. Most mirrorless cameras do, but there will be some that don't have it. Everyone has totally different opinions about the phone sound. The iPhone sounded like a phone call, which makes sense. Yeah. iPhone is less processed. The MacBook mic must have a filter removing the reverb, very possibly. John says, okay, I agree. iPhone was better on good headphones. Okay. If you have a TV in the room, can you cast to that as an external multi-view? No, because it said you can't use continuity camera if you are doing AirPlay, which makes sense. ATEM Mini input 1 can cause problems, low latency, and not all cameras like input 1. That's true. Some cameras have quirks with input 1 on the ATEM Mini. So if you do have problems with plugging it into input 1, then try the other one. But most of the cameras I've tried haven't had a problem like that. I think we all agree DJI on the chest was the worst. That's too bad, because that's like where you want to keep it. It's annoying. Am I on the laptop mic? I've forgotten now. I am. Yeah. Now you just got, oh no, DJI on the mirror was worst. Right. Because then it was also too far away. Yeah. Oh well. It's working well enough. You're getting a few reflections from the room. I don't remember what that one is about now. Maybe that was the iPhone mic. Thanks for answering my question. Just got to it. Cool. Yeah, so take a look for clean HDMI out for sure. Oh, 1.5 speed catching up. Nice. Bert says, I currently have a stream that I went live with, and even though end of the stream, it still says that I'm live. How do I shut it down? If you actually clicked the end stream button, it definitely should not be saying that it's still live. If it does, this is just YouTube really having a glitch. But if you stop streaming to it, that's not the same as ending the stream. You have to actually click the end stream button in the YouTube studio. Eventually, if you are not streaming data and didn't click end stream, eventually YouTube will shut it off, but it'll take hours before it gives up. Like hours and hours. Mike says laptop mic is the best sound, but keyboard clicks are heard. Interesting. Apparently I need to just get a little stand for the mic so I can have it here. Oh, you're using Switcher Studio? It shouldn't matter. Oh, okay. So if you're using software and you end the stream in the software, it may not actually end the stream on YouTube. Like you have to literally go into the YouTube Studio and click the end stream button, because the if I click stop streaming in OBS, that just stops sending data to YouTube, but YouTube still is expecting data. So Switcher Studio would work the same way unless it actually is using the YouTube API to like have it click the end stream button itself. Did I notice in the audio settings in OBS the laptop mic doesn't have the high pass filter on? Probably. Probably not. I don't have any audio filters. No audio filters are turned on. Or a box with a laptop on it. Sounded better when you picked it up. No resonance from the table. So what if I set it on this battery? It makes it harder for me to use the computer, but maybe it'll sound better. Fun fact, TSA doesn't like laptop stands. I guess that makes sense, as they would look like a laptop with no electronics, just like a sheet of metal. They probably don't like that. I think there may be quite a difference on the DJI with an external mic versus the built-in capsule mic, for sure. I mean, we're testing this microphone, not the audio processing on the mic, for sure. Put the DJI mic deeper on your shirt and it will work better. What do you mean deeper? Like higher or lower or on the inside? I don't know what deeper means. Graham says, I once found that a volunteer hadn't stopped the stream in the ATEM. There was 5 hours of a holding slide and no audio. Oops. Well, you can also end the stream on YouTube and keep streaming on the ATEM, and YouTube just won't do anything with the data. It works that way too. Oh, Chris says, did I bring my drone? I did. I actually just had to renew my UK drone license too. So I was like, I guess I'm bringing my drone, so I'm going to shoot something. And I have to refresh my memory on all the UK laws, which seem to be weirdly slightly more permissive in some aspects compared to the US. Like you can fly over people with the small drones, just not crowds. And the only bummer is that the bummer is that you can't fly over the river, which is like actually a thing they can make a rule about, unlike in the US where they only block out like national parks. So, but yeah, so I guess I could go up to the roof of this hotel and take off from there. Maybe I should do that. It's almost sunset. As long as I don't go over the river. I can go up close to the river. Just can't go over the river. Yeah. And anyway, once I'm at the event, it's at a college, and they also have a rule that you can't fly drones from the college. So, but I can go to like the edge of the campus and go to the street there, and then take off and get shots of the college from not over the college. Yeah. Probably can't fly over people if they are wearing crowns. Almost certainly. Yes. Do you know the reason for not going over the river? I assume it's because rivers are sometimes used as, what do you call it? Air roads. Like helicopters will sometimes use rivers and like use them as a pathway. So there's sometimes more air traffic there. And then there also, there's a lot of boat traffic, and the boat traffic can be, anything from tiny speedboats to large shipping vessels, and it's just a safety thing. Like it makes sense because it's about risk of crashing, and if you crash a drone on a busy river, you're more likely to cause even more problems than you are if you're crashing somewhere randomly and like over a farm, right? So, yeah. 50% better on the battery. Get something 4 times thicker would do the trick. I could find a stack of books, but there really isn't much in this hotel. Really, Aaron should have just traveled with the full audio interface and a Shure SM7B. Next time, maybe I could bring the little Rode microphone, USB microphone. Oh yes, and definitely not near an airport. The place I'm going is nearby Heathrow, but not near enough that it's in the restricted area. Seeing how OBS is performing on the MacBook, well worthy sacrificing the YoloBox for the drone. Smith says in the EU, you need a license, insurance, and check in the app if you're in a restricted forbidden zone. I mean, that's generally true. Most places, insurance tends to be pretty variable depending on the location, and then licensing requirements vary pretty wildly depending on the country. Also, depending on the size of the drone. I heard a lot of drones suffer from hydrophobia. That could be the reason. Most of the rules are not there to protect your drone. Most of the rules are there to protect other people from your drone. Hardy Media says, noticing that for a long time you referred one-to-one consulting requests to others, but now you offer it. How's it going? Good question. I did start putting a link down in the description if you want to book some time with me. I've done a couple calls. It's been a lot of fun. So feel free to use that link. I think I blocked out this entire week though, because I have no time for it here. So there's limited slots available, but if you want to get help one-on-one with something, I'm happy to jump on a Zoom when I'm back in Portland. Michael says the stand I have has hollow pipes. Oh, I guess that makes sense. TSA, yes. Alan says labs work better a bit lower away from the chin. Huh, yeah. Well, maybe next time I can do some experimental lab placement tests, but we are running out of time for today. So that was fun. Thanks for the tests and experimenting with different cameras and different gear. It's nice to know that this is a decent option for this type of stream, but still YoloBox is a better option for most other things, I think, because also my iPhone battery is about to die and I can only charge it for so long off this battery, so clearly not a long-term plan. But hey, I have good Wi-Fi here, so I thought I might as well give it a try and use OBS for a change and see how it goes. So far, things mostly worked. Still no drop frames, and I only forgot to change the resolution to 1080, and the little weird screen capture freezing issue, but other than that, mostly worked. Sven says, I prefer the sound of the DJI because the built-in mic picks up handling noise. Better to be a little bit muffled sound than the handling distraction. Yeah, it's fair. It's totally fair. We'll see what I do next time. If I do have another travel stream coming up, which I'm not even sure if I do, because my trips are quickly running out. It worked. It's still working even after all the stream death-defying feats of OBS frame size and encoder changes. Very cool. Well, I'm curious what will happen on the replay. Maybe it'll look like nothing was wrong the whole time. I like that plan. All right, we're going to wrap this up. Can I roll the credits? I think I can, because my credits are also in my webpage. So yes, okay. Oh, Graham, thank you for the super chat. Just in the nick of time. I hope that got it into the credits. Hopefully this will buy you a pint, even at London prices. Thanks. Yeah, hopefully it will. I appreciate it. And of course, thank you to all the channel members for all of your continued support. It really means a lot. It helps me keep going and keep making content, which I will be getting back to imminently now that the moving is all done. Mostly unpacked, not entirely unpacked, but then I can actually use my studio again and not have to just spend all my time packing boxes. So looking forward to that, looking forward to getting back to that. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you all very much. I will see you all back here, back in Portland at the same time next week. Hopefully I'll be recovered from jet lag, going the other direction as well. All right. Thanks all, and I will see you all again next week. Goodbye.